welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Let's begin. La Republic de Cameroon is getting more desperate by the day as Ambazonia is seemingly winning the war from all fronts. So, what's their coping strategy? Take a hold on that. Considering that Indian County-rich oil wells have been raped by France and La Republic de Cameroon for over 60 years, we will examine why Ambazonia must fight and rescue Indian County from the fangs of the occupier. In today's Undaunted, we will have a closer look into French presidential election finals as voters determine the polls this weekend. Now, house elections in France. What are the intricacies? What happened in Europe? What happens in Africa? What are the opinion polls? Who between the two, Emmanuel Macron and Le Pen, is pulling the sides? That notwithstanding, situations have pushed us to make an interesting observation as well. Russia in Ukraine, France in Ambazonia. What's the difference? Can you imagine that the purported military accord between La Republic de Cameroon and France is a fraud? Yes, a fraud. It is Cameroon's disinformation tactics or war strategy. I know you can wait for details, but first, let's get the prime headlines.
Prime headlines. Ambazabia Masilak Yaoundé are no longer safe. Indian county-rich oil wells raped by France and La Republique du Cameroon for over 60 years. What is the truth behind the purported military accord between La Republique du Cameroon and Russia? Ambazonian chiefs are currently being reduced to zero by colonial administrators in their own catchments. Macron's polling lead over Le Pen widens ahead of France's Sunday runoff. Fulham gets promoted to the Premier League, while in Africa, draws are conducted for Total Energy's African Cup of Nations, Côte d'Ivoire 2023.
Ambazonians in BM Asilak, Yaoundé are no longer safe. La Republique de Cameroon has exhausted all her strategy and now seeks to continuously oppress the civilian population of Ambazonia, both resident in La Republique de Cameroon and in Ambazonia. They have escalated their killings of the civilian population in recent days. It would appear that even French Cameroon citizens have chosen to follow suit with their government, all against the oppressed people of Ambazonia. On Saturday, April 16, breaking Sunday, April 17, 2022, a group of Francophone boys came out armed with knives, threatening on the top of their voices, posing threats in French and saying, "Let an Anglophone talk here again, we will cut the head." This is scandalous. These boys attacked some Ambazonian youths from Nkambe local government area extraction who were just dispersing from their weekly meeting in a serious unexpected fight, and many of our boys sustained wounds. The fierce Francophone-looking boys rough-handled one of the Ambazonian boys and put a motorbike tire on him to burn him alive before other Southern Cameroonians came in for a timely rescue. It is said that the boys didn't end there. They continued in their aggressive attitude and stabbed another passerby whose identity couldn't be determined immediately. Fortunately, he did not die. This aggressive attitude of Francophones and Southern Cameroonians is not the first and may not be the last. One thing remains certain, that the lives of Ambazonians in the enemy camp is no longer safe. They need maximum security and protection. Now, on another occasion, this time in Ambazonia, the colonial military killed civilians indiscriminately in a drinking spot in Bamenda. It happened somewhere around Nobleman Bar in Meetup of Menzam County, where over 5 civilians were gunned by French Cameroon military for no just cause. With this, you see the desperation of the army of occupation after failing to sustain the restoration forces. Watch the video. Rich oil wells raped by France and La Republic for over 60 years. It is no news that La Republic du Cameroon is ready to waste every soul just to own the land and claim the natural resources of Ambazonia forever. But isn't that the result of the fraud? The reason why they are corrupting elites of Ambazonians' descent? Today we have a look on Indian County. Ambazonia must fight and rescue Indian County from the fans of the occupier. After colluding with the colonial regime in Yaoundé through a puppet PM, Dion Ngute, to keep Ambazonia under perpetual slavery and trying in vain to collapse the powerful interim government, using a moron called Marianta and faced with an unbending challenger, FM10 Kobo and his ARF boys. Indian County, in complicity with the occupier, has now summoned for what colonial regime cohorts term Peace and Development Conference, which, faced with Operation Lava Storm 3 and the fireworks in its pipeline, can only be dead on arrival come April 22, 2022. Indian County in the Atlantic zone has been the hardest hit by the socio-political crisis that broke out since 2016 in southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Even though Indian County boasts of great petroleum reserves, all of these have been skirted away by colonial La Republique du Cameroon and France. India remains the most neglected counties in Ambazonia. No road network, no befitting, yet colonial forces convey there through the sea and through helicopters to empty the oil wells. Most of the development in India County has been done by neighboring Nigeria, which led to the Bakassi conflict. Rape, torture, theft, kidnappings, and killings are some of the barbaric acts carried out by La Republique du Cameroon terrorist military in India. Acts that caused many young people to flee their homes and seek refuge in neighboring Nigeria and French Cameroon. Other atrocities committed in Indian County by the cruel colonial military includes the killing of 3 students and a teacher in government bilingual high school GBHS Ekondo Titi. The killing of Ekondo Titi Colonial Mayor, Colonial Divisional Officer, CPDM, Section President, Colonial Gendarmerie Brigade Commander, and others, the kidnapping of 6 divisional delegates, 5 of whom are still missing. The community, teleguided by the oppressive colonial regime in Yaoundé, will be organizing an all-Indian Peace and Development Conference scheduled for Friday 22nd and Saturday 23rd April 2022, in a bid to woo the population with a fake and failed slogan that Cameroon is one and indivisible. This, according to the Never Again generation of Ambazonians, remains a window dead on arrival. Puppet Colonial PM Dion Ngute should remember that as he was waving peace plans in Bamenda, Colonial Governor Okalia Bilai and the colonial military were opening fire in Boya simultaneously, and that there will be no peace if Ambazonia is not. Republic to Cameroon and Russia. The news that went viral on La Republic du Cameroon's diplomatic endeavor in the wake of the Russian invasion of Ukraine got some Ambazonians worried. In the headlines by some news agencies, French Cameroon's defense minister, Joseph Betty Asomo, is reported to have signed a military cooperation agreement between Russia and La Republic du Cameroon. It was highlighted in the report that on April 12th, both defense bosses met and signed, among other areas to cooperate on. According to the document, these two nations will collaborate on piracy and terrorism training, rescue missions in the sea, peacekeeping processes, exchanges of security information on defense and security on the international domain. Now, let us shock you. It was all fraud. Calculated misinformation with the objective to manipulate public opinion. Okay, let's examine the accord very closely. Was this document signed in the Kremlin or was it signed in Yaoundé? Was it altered in Yaoundé or was it altered in the Kremlin? From a very critical look, the document cannot be altered in the Kremlin without having the two insignias of the two countries involved. Do you get something now? If this aspect is ignored and the accord peradventure is true, then it will mean that La République is now dishing out orders to Russia. But no, it is supposed to be an agreement, a covenant signed by two parties, two sovereign nations. So therefore, La République du Congo cannot have their insignia at the center of the document, as if it is their document. That right there is already fake. This information. Let us look at it from another critical angle. La République du Cameroon cannot come to America and an American is signing a treaty with them and the only insignia on that document is La République. Are you kidding me? And such an act is taking place in Washington, D.C. Imagine that you have such a document put together with the only insignia, Republic du Cameroon. America is not there. No flag, no coat of arms, nothing. Laughable. Under normal circumstances, the two insignias will be highlighted in bold. One will be on the left and one will be on the right. It's a cooperation document between two countries. It's not one country dishing out orders to the other. If it were even only the Russian insignia that was there, we could say, okay, they are the superpower, they are the ones offering, so probably they decided to put theirs, but normally in a cooperation agreement, there are two insignias of the two countries and the two flags involved. Do you now see clearly? Follow this analysis closely. The Russians at least know how to spell the name of their general. Look at the document, that is not the spelling. You can go and check it from Wikipedia and get the correct spelling of the army general of Russia for yourself. His name is Shoigu. Shoigu, as it is spelled in Russia, is Shoigu. But because it is fake and it's a francophone paid by Yaoundé attempting to doctor a document, they told him the person's name is Shoigu. He went and wrote it as if he's a Frenchman because CH in French is pronounced sh. It's not ch, so they wrote CHOI, which is choi, then GOU, which is oo, their own oo in French, OU. You see, it's just like they spell their own Musa and we spell Musa, M-U-S-A, while they spell their own as M-O-U-S-S-A. So, how can you go to Russia to seek and you're signing a treaty and an accord and the Russians decide to misspell the name of their own general on the document, which does not even have the Russians' own insignia on it? It is fake, people, because at least they should be able to spell the name of their Minister of Defense. So, whatever Cameroon is trying to achieve in this flop is trying to raise some hope among their people. Why? Because as it stands, they are losing in war they declared against Amba. You must also understand that it is a psychological boost to help their defeated. They most probably did that to counter the momentum that more Ambazonians seem to have been gathering with international community as the favorite of the United States. They did reassure the people that, well, at least the Russians are with us. Ambazonians, you must understand that this information is an instrument of war. Russia has been seen attempting such in Ukraine, but La Republic of Cameroon should try harder because we know better. Ambazonian chiefs are currently being reduced to zero by colonial administrators in their own catchments.
All the chiefs will match with a pancart indicating their village and their population follow behind. If that is not the case, it means those chiefs don't exist. And if you don't exist as a body, as a village, you should not be called village and counted among the village. I said it some 2 or 3 years ago. The chief refused to do it because they were still volunteers chiefs. But today, you know that the voluntariat is finished. Tradition is there, but you are tied to the state with an obligation. Chief, we don't know. I don't want to disclose it here, but we understand each other. If you fail to do what I'm instructing, you will see 30 days after the consequences of that disobedience. So, Lord Mayor, prepare a packet. Because they will say that they don't have money. Prepare it. You have how many villages? 100 of bankers. Every chief will pass. Those who are in exile in Douala or Yaoundé, let them stay there. When you come back, you'll find some.
The question is, how did we get here? Whatever time this video was recorded, I would say that it hits Ambazonians at the core of their integrity. It is an insult. The video we just watched was La Republique du Cameroon Southwest Colonial Governor Okala Belai intimidating and manipulatively pressuring the Southwest chiefs in projection of the colonial match pass coming 20th May 2022. Mr. Okala wants the chiefs to go out carrying placards showing that they are Cameroonians. For and failure to do so, they shall either be deposed or finished with. Like seriously? Like you, I watched that video with dismay, shocked as it was disgusting. No respect for traditional authorities in Ambazonia by these colonial administrators. They have defied Ambazonia's secret places. Now, Ambazonians are waiting to see if the phone of Mancon will come out and march with his placards to impress such arrogant colonial administrators. If any Southern Cameroon born, including the Federalists and Unionists, are not disgusted and mad at this, then I am very concerned the special status is actually one to complete the dehumanization force. Now, Ambazonians are waiting to see if the phone of Mancon will come out and march with his placard to impress such arrogant colonial administrators. If any Southern Cameroon, including the Federalists and Unionists, are not disgusted and mad at this, then I am very concerned the special status is actually one to complete the dehumanization phase of the citizens of Ambazonia by La Republic du Cameroon. In reaction to this arrogance, we picked up a message by House Speaker of Interim Representatives, Dr. Winnie Bati, and this was what she had. I am sure you have watched the media entertainment. Instructions for chiefs to start carriages and marching to honor their colonial masters, or else after 30 days they will understand. Crumbs will stop falling. Furthermore, they will be replaced by the colonial master. Tomorrow, La Republic de Cameroon will bring the replacement for the Beti Bulu Fang tribes. Ambazonians should even tell those in Paris to make for themselves bigger palaces there, because they are being rejected by both sides. Since they will not make it in time to carry their placards, they should stay where they are. What a mockery! Disrespect and dishonor. If a chief does not march with his villagers behind him, it implies the village does not exist. Wow! La Republic du Cameroon defines existence based on chiefs and their subjects parading themselves in front of some colonial administrators in order to peddle 100 to 200k francs CFA. So since when were we conquered and now have to march past in front of the conqueror so he can display his war trophy and spoils? We are people with dignity and will not bring ourselves lower than what we have already been brought to. We promised we would fight till the last Ambazonian standing. We are a people with a culture, with a territory, and have human rights granted to us by God and affirmed by the UN resolutions and AU charters. Let this ignorant man prepare himself for a future at The Hague. She concluded by saying, no May 20th events in Ambazonia. No May 20th event in Ambazonia is a situation that can't be concluded upon without talking with the actors involved with homeland self-defense and security. Let us now move into the interview studio where we will take some
You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amba TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned.
In our editorial today, we will make a brief pause of the historical timeline we have been bringing to you in recent days, but yet highlight an article which tackles historical facts in a very specific manner. During an extraordinary interview our news director Tar Party King had with the Washington Post Saturday evening, he reported some aspects of his discussion with the newsroom believes could be appreciated for the Undaunted audience. His article, The Right to Self-Determination is Divine, and went further to elaborate thus. Interviewed for over 90 minutes by Washington Post journalist Samantha Smith, I did not hesitate to reiterate the historicity and legality of the cause. The independence, restoration, and liberation movement of the former British Southern Cameroon's Ambazonians. In the same spirit, I have a point out for the youth of the Cameroons, particularly of Ambazonia. Do not allow the Franco-Cameroon hegemony, religiosity, cultural appropriation to intimidate you or your God-given integrity to live and to choose. What therefore must be the basis of the cause we uphold unwaveringly? 1. The decolonization process of the UN trusteeship territory of the Southern Cameroons was botched. Great Britain and the UN are guilty of the fraud. By implication, the people of Southern Cameroons were cheated of independence. Fact. 2. In 1961, prior to Southern Cameroon's scheduled independence of October 1st, Amadou Ahidjo, governor of the French province La Republique du Cameroon, invaded with his gendarmes and illegally occupied Southern Cameroon. Since then until date, the people of Southern Cameroon have been suffering from a belligerent occupation. Fact. 3. In 1972, Amadou Ahidjo again manipulatively neutralized the experimental relationship, the purported federation of two equal states, the Federal Republic of Cameroon. His hook word was unity, by whose unity the institutions Cameroon Bank, Marketing Board, Mobile Police Wing of Southern Cameroons were progressively and systematically destroyed. Fact. 4. In 1984, the heir apparent of Amadou Ahidjo, then governor of the French province La Republique du Cameroon, Paul Barthélemy Diaz B. Vondo, arrogantly seceded from the failed union, the Republic of Cameroon and United Republic of Cameroon, of La Republique du Cameroon and the former British Southern Cameroons. Unapologetically, Mr. Biya officially recolonized Southern Cameroons into French Cameroon and escalated the assimilation of its people. Fact. 5. In November 30th, 2017, Mr. Biya declared war against the people of the former British Southern Cameroons for merely asserting their rights to self-determination, and the post-Rwanda genocide world is watching with blind eyes and with tight lips. Fact. As you can see, it is a master calculation to annihilate a people. By this note, it is therefore the divine and the legal right of the people of the former British Southern Cameroons, now Ambazonians, to exist not as an annexed people, but as a people in their homeland with internationally recognized boundaries. This is a clarion call. History will not forgive us if we translate worse than we inherited to the next generation. Finally, do not allow anyone to emotionally blackmail you for opting to resist the belligerent occupation of French Cameroon. Tell them the cause is divine and it is legal. Indeed, it is a God-ordained struggle. If you want more of such insightful articles, visit our website at www.abcambertv.com.
You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amba TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned.
We apologize for starting a bit late today, but we just got a call from the office of the president to join him in a Zoom session for the town hall meeting today. I'd advise you do that just now, and we'll be right back with the rest of the news.
Gets promoted to the Premier League, while in Africa draws are conducted by Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations, Cote d'Ivoire 2023. On Now Sport, the draws were conducted in Johannesburg, South Africa on Tuesday evening with exciting matches lined up towards next year's tournament. Meanwhile, Fulham crushed Preston to seal their Premier League return as Alexander Mitrovic's double took his season's tally to 40 goals. Allison has details of this sports coverage.
Latest world sports. Draws are conducted for Total Energies African Cup of Nations, Cote d'Ivoire 2023. The draws were conducted in Johannesburg, South Africa on Tuesday evening with exciting matches lined up towards next year's tournament. The draw was conducted by African football legends, the former South African defender Lucas Radebe and ex-Cote d'Ivoire forward Solomon Kalou. For the full draw, Group A, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, and Sao Tome/Mauritius. Group B, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, Togo, and Eswatini. Group C, Cameroon, Kenya, Namibia, and Burundi. Group D, Egypt, Guinea, Malawi, and Ethiopia. Group E, Ghana, Madagascar, Angola, and Central African Republic. Group F, Algeria, Uganda, Niger, and Tanzania. Group G, Mali, Congo, the Gambia, and South Sudan. Group H, Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia, Comoros, and Lesotho. Group I, DR Congo, Gabon, Mauritania, and Sudan. Group J, Tunisia, Equatorial Guinea, Libya, and Botswana. Group K, Morocco, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Liberia. Fulham gets promoted to the Premier League. Fulham crushed Preston to seal their Premier League return as Alexander Mitrovic double took his season's tally to 40 goals. The Serbian striker netted twice in the first half, sandwiching an eye-catching strike by teenager Fabio Cavallo. Mitrovic was denied a hat-trick by Preston goalkeeper Daniel Iversen, but it made no difference to the outcome as victory confirmed promotion for Marco Silva's side. Fulham could effectively secure the title as early as Saturday if they win at second place, Bournemouth. The Cottagers might have fallen behind early on, with Marek Rodak calling to action to thwart Chet Evans and then tip Ben Whiteman's long-range drive over the bar. But any hint of nerves swiftly evaporated in the 9th minute as Joe Bryan won possession and burst down the left flank to set up Mitrovic, who slid the ball through Iversen's legs. Carvalho and Harrison Reed went close to extending the lead as the home side seized control, repeatedly slicing through Preston's defense. It was Carvalho who did eventually grab Fulham's second in the 34th minute, rivaling home on his left foot after Niskin's Cabano's cross had deflected perfectly into his path. Mitrovic made it 3-0 just before halftime, reaching the 40-goal mark. English Premier League results. Pep Guardiola Manchester City beat Brighton to go back top of the Premier League. Manchester City went into this game trailing Liverpool for the first time in months, and failure to win would have felt a savage blow. Instead, victory has changed the field once again, and not only because City have their noses in front. After a frustrating goalless first half, City took the lead in the 53rd minute through Riyad Mahrez, whose shot deflected off Joel Veltman and looped over goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Man City's second also came courtesy of a deflection as Phil Foden's strike from distance went in off a defender to find the bottom corner. Bernardo Silva called in a third with 8 minutes left to ensure the title race remains in City's hands. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal reignite Premier League top 4 hopes with thrilling win over Chelsea. The Gunners took the lead not once, but twice at Stamford Bridge through goals from Nketiah and Emily Smith. But on both occasions, Chelsea found a response as Timo Werner's deflected strike and Cesar Azpilicueta's low finish sent the sides in level at the interval. The scoring wasn't over in the second half as the Gunners took the lead once again, and it was Nketiah who grabbed his side's third before Bukayo Saka sealed Arsenal's victory from the spot after being hauled down late on by Azpilicueta. Victory ends a run of 3 straight defeats in the Premier League for Arsenal and sees Mikel Arteta's side move level on points with 4th place Tottenham, who they still have to play towards the end of the season ahead of another crucial match against Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. Paris Saint-Germain were made to wait for their 8th French league title after closest rivals Marseille fought back to beat Nantes. PSG without Lionel Messi and Neymar knew they would clinch the title if they bettered Marseille's result. First half goals from Kylian Mbappe and Sergio Ramos, coupled with Marseille trailing 2-1, left them on the brink. But Marseille rallied to win 3-2, meaning PSG, who added a third through Marquinhos, must wait for the title. A point for PSG in their home game against 7th place Lens on Saturday will see them regain the title regardless of what Marseille does at Reims. Gab reporting for Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
On that sports report, we come to the end of today's newscast. Now the recap. We reported that Ambazonians in BM Asilak, Yaoundé are no longer safe. They are facing persecutions from both La République du Cameroon government and citizens. We also examined how Indian County rich oil wells have been raped by France and La République du Cameroon for over 60 years. We went further to discuss on what is the truth behind the purported military accord between La République du Cameroon and Russia. The heartbreaking news was that Ambazonia chiefs are currently being reduced to zero by colonial administrators in their own catchments. And in sports, Fulham gets promoted to the Premier League, while in Africa, draws are conducted for Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023. And that was it for Undaunted tonight. Bringing into the news Untold Stories. We'll leave you with ABC Amba TV images. Good night.
When it does, you need this and this and this. When it happens to me, I always know where to go. When you've got professionals on your side, your problems don't stand a chance. What are you waiting for? Contact them.